Tonight, before you go to sleep, you'll stand in front of a bathroom mirror, pick up a small plastic toothbrush, and clean your teeth. It's a routine you barely think about, just 2 boring minutes before bed. But imagine yourself 50,000 years ago. You're sitting beside a smoky campfire after eating tough wild meat and raw roots. There's no running water, no bathroom, no dentist waiting to save you. So what happened to people's teeth back then? Did they slowly rot away? Did ancient humans spend their lives in constant pain? For years, researchers believed they did. But when archaeologists carefully examined ancient skulls, they uncovered something completely unexpected. Our ancestors had remarkably healthy teeth. Their jaws were strong, their teeth were naturally straight, and cavities were surprisingly rare. They had no toothpaste and no toothbrush. So how was that possible? The answer lies in what they didn't eat. There was no soft bread, no candy, no sticky sugar. Their meals consisted of tough plants, nuts, roots, and wild meat. Every bite naturally scrubbed their teeth clean while strengthening their jaws through constant chewing. It was almost like brushing their teeth every time they ate. But around 10,000 years ago, everything changed. Humans discovered farming, and that single breakthrough quietly created one of history's biggest health problems. We traded the wild forests for fields of wheat and barley. We began grinding grain, baking bread, and cooking porridge. Civilization flourished, but it came with a hidden cost. These soft carbohydrates broke down into sugar, feeding the bacteria living inside our mouths. Those tiny microbes produced acid that slowly destroyed human teeth. For the first time in history, tooth decay became a widespread problem. Imagine the sheer terror of a toothache 3,000 years ago. A sharp, throbbing pain spreads deep through your jaw. It keeps you awake long after the campfire has burned out. Every bite becomes unbearable. Hunger grows stronger, but eating is almost impossible. Back then, a tooth infection wasn't just painful, it could be fatal. The infection could spread through the body, slowly killing you without anyone knowing why. Farming had given humanity more food, but it had also created a dangerous new enemy, and people desperately needed a way to fight it. Then something remarkable happened. Around 5,000 years ago in ancient Egypt and Babylon, humans discovered an unexpected solution. Not plastic, not metal, just a simple twig. But it wasn't any ordinary stick. People learned that certain trees like neem and the arak tree had special properties. They chewed one end until the fibers spread into soft bristles, creating a natural brush. The pointed end worked like a toothpick, helping remove food trapped between the teeth. Without realizing it, they had invented the world's first toothbrush. Today, scientists understand why it worked so well. Studies show these trees naturally contain antibacterial compounds, healing oils, and even fluoride. Our ancestors knew nothing about bacteria or microscopes. They couldn't see the invisible microbes damaging their teeth. Yet through generations of observation and trial and error, they discovered one of the earliest and smartest tools for protecting human health. The first toothbrush didn't come from a factory. It came straight from the forest. For thousands of years, the chewing stick was humanity's greatest defense against tooth decay. Millions of people across the Middle East, Africa, and Asia relied on it every day, and many cultures still do. But as civilizations grew, so did our appetite for sweeter, softer foods. Refined sugar became more common, plaque built up faster, and the simple twig was no longer enough. Humanity needed something stronger. And surprisingly, the modern toothbrush wasn't born in Egypt or Rome. Its story began in the freezing winters of ancient China. Picture yourself in China during the late 1400s. Craftsmen carved smooth handles from bamboo or animal bone, then collected the stiff neck bristles of wild pigs living in the icy north. They drilled tiny holes into the handle and tied the tough bristles into place, creating a tool unlike anything before it. Compared to a chewing stick, it cleaned teeth far more effectively. It was a simple invention, yet an incredible piece of engineering that would eventually change the world. When merchants and travelers along the Silk Road first saw these strange brushes, they were amazed. You might think Europe quickly embraced such a clever invention. But the opposite happened. When the Chinese bristle brush finally reached Europe, many people thought putting animal hair inside their mouths was completely disgusting. Imagine being a wealthy European merchant in the 1600s. Instead of using a toothbrush, you scrub your teeth with a salty cloth. Sometimes you rub them with crushed shells, chalk, or charcoal, to you, putting animal hair inside your mouth seems disgusting. Because of this, tooth decay spread rapidly across Europe. As sugar poured in from the Americas, rotten black teeth became so common among the wealthy that they were almost seen as a symbol of status. Ironically, the poorest peasants often had the healthiest smiles. But everything was about to change, and the breakthrough would come from an unlikely place: an English prison. The year is 1770. William Addis sits inside a cold, damp English jail after being arrested for causing a riot. Every day he watches prisoners scrub their teeth with soot and dirty cloths. Convinced there had to be a better way, he remembered stories about the Chinese bristle brush. Using a small animal bone from his meal and tough bristles from a broom, he drilled tiny holes into the handle and carefully fixed the bristles inside. Inside that dark prison cell, he unknowingly created the first mass-produced toothbrush in the Western world. When Addis was finally released, he realized his invention could change millions of lives. He founded a company and began producing toothbrushes on a large scale. What had once seemed like a strange foreign invention quickly became a household essential across Europe. For the first time, people could clean their teeth more effectively, freshen their breath, and greatly reduce the painful toothaches that had haunted generations. But there was still one major problem. Animal hair absorbed moisture like a sponge, trapping bacteria instead of removing it. The stiff bristles often scratched the gums, leading to painful infections. For more than a century, millions of people unknowingly brushed their teeth with tools that could actually make them sick. Humanity needed something safer, something completely new. Then, in the 1930s, scientists made a breakthrough that changed oral hygiene forever. They invented nylon, a strong, cheap, synthetic material. Around the same time, World War II spread across the world. Millions of soldiers received plastic toothbrushes with waterproof nylon bristles because the military demanded strict hygiene. Unlike animal hair, nylon didn't trap moisture or bacteria. When the war ended, those soldiers returned home with the habit of brushing every day. Soon, the plastic toothbrush spread across the world and became part of everyday life. Which brings us back to you. Tonight, when you stand in front of the mirror and pick up your toothbrush, take a closer look. You're not just holding a piece of plastic. You're holding the final chapter of a 5,000-year journey. From the chewing sticks of ancient Babylon, to the pig bristle brushes of China, to a handmade bone toothbrush built inside an English prison. Our ancestors fought an invisible enemy they couldn't even see, simply to survive. The world changed, but that battle never ended. Maybe the ancient world never disappeared at all. Maybe every time you brush your teeth, a small piece of it is still living inside you.